Wrong screen. My bad. Whoops. There we go. Okay. Oof. Close one. Shit just got real weird. All right, can everybody hear me? Are we good? All right, fix the loop. Should be good. You guys got me? Yes. Wespa. Good. Here. That's very anticlimactic. Yeah, man. Fucking here. Whatever. Yeah, fucking cryptos. Alright. I don't know how much time I have before the baby screams, so I'm gonna have to go feed them. It's my turn. So we'll see how much time that gives us. Worst case, maybe we start again tomorrow and try to redo this thing again. Because I wanted to do a quick stream about intro stuff. So there were a couple people saying, you know, like, group might be a little bit too advanced for me. I don't know if I'm going to renew. And I said, well, my whole thing was always I wanted to do the most beginner entry level noob stuff anyway. So I did that. If you guys have seen the first few Vader University intro to crypto, if you go to Vader U on the left side where all the groups are, let me show you. If you go to Vader U, the basics, and go to intro to crypto. This video will probably find its way there, but this is like the most intro level you could possibly imagine. What is Coinbase and Binance and, you know, these different sites. I'm going to eventually do a new thing since Binance is no longer going to be our primary exchange. It's still going to work for us, but not quite the same. Then I have some intro, you know, some notes on introductory level stuff, a bunch of videos. This one's how to use TradingView. This one's how to deal with risk management scenario. So I'm going to get into a lot more of this stuff moving forward. But this video, the theme I was going for, I wanted to do every single thing that you would need to know if you, like, let me put it this way. If you just joined this group, but you figured this group looks like a way to make some money, you don't really care about education that much. You know how I feel about that. I don't do signals, and there's a reason why. But there's a subset of people who join the group who are ready and prepared to do what it takes to learn. They want to become a successful trader. They want to learn the techniques I use and the various tips and tricks that I have, not just to copy them, but to see if it works for them. If they trade a little bit and it doesn't work, then they can ignore everything I ever told them. I'm fine with that. But if it does work out for them, great. For those people who are ready to put in the effort, who are just getting into the group and just getting started and they feel really lost, I want to go over that basic stuff, right? So I want to go over, essentially, if you join this group today and you wanted to get into some trades and you wanted to sort of get a good understanding of my process and how I trade, so as you do learn, you're more prepared and more equipped to get a better understanding of it, that I'm comfortable with. So let's go over that. We're essentially going to be teaching what those people who just want my signals want to know, but that's fine. There's a legitimate reason why I need you guys, some of the earlier members, the newer members, to get that sort of stuff right now. Again, the baby's going to wake up soon. I might have to make this a part 1 and come back for a part 2 tomorrow, but let's get right into it. So let's say you just joined. You have no idea what you're doing. Watch the videos I put out on very, very introductory level stuff. That's obviously going to be important. You want to learn how to use the websites that I listed, how to use Binance. Thank you. How do you? My wife made me a delicious beverage. What is this? Chocolate milk with caramel and coconut whipped cream. All right, guys, I gotta go. I gotta go give my wife a massage and everything as a thank you for being so wonderful. Oh, now I lost my train of thought because I was thinking of her naked. Damn it, Jen, you're a pain in the ass. Okay, where did I leave off? All right, so start with these videos so you can learn about how to use these different websites, Coinbase and everything. Essentially, the very basics that you would need to know to trade how I trade right now. If you wanted to do that right now, this is what you would need. you would need to have money in Binance, so you have to learn how to use Coinbase or a similar exchange like Kraken to get your US dollars or euros, whatever your currency is, into the crypto markets. Now, once you've done that and you own some Bitcoin, that was the biggest hurdle you had to get over. Once you get over that hurdle and you have money on an exchange where you could trade cryptos, it doesn't have to be Binance. It could be a different exchange, but once you have your money on an exchange, then you could start making trades. That's really, once you get to that point, you're good to go. So let's cover what it takes from that point forward. If you were looking at charts like this, you have no idea what you're looking at, nothing makes sense. Let me tell you the basics. So every chart that I post in short-term trades in this group, I'll pull them up. And I never get sick, by the way, Dick. I never started getting sick until after I had kids. Okay, so looking at this here, right, let's go up to my short-term plays section. So you'll see all these different trades. Sometimes there's nothing on here, but just the long tool, just the green and the red squares, right? And that's the most important thing you need to know. So let me show you one like this. Well, this has a lot of other supports and everything on it. Let me show you something that's a little bit more bare bones, like this. This barely has any support lines, right? This is mostly my entry, my initial SL. And this is a good one to share as an example because the long tool, right, that's what it's called, shows your entry is in the middle, your stop loss goes at the bottom of the red section, and your ultimate target goes at the top of the green section. But as most of you know, I don't care about the targets too much. They don't play that much of a role early on anyway. Once you start getting up to those higher levels, then you either want to identify a target that you want to set. Hey, I want to go up to about this far and then I'll sell. Or the way that I trade is I set a rough target and say, all right, I expect the price to get up to here. When we start getting relatively close, I'm going to move my stop loss order up so it's like 2% below the tippity top. And then if we keep pushing to that final target and we hit it, great. I can move my stop loss up even more and lock in even more. But if we fail and we come down a little bit earlier than I had thought, I'm not going to take a huge loss. I'm only going to lose a couple percent since I have a stop limit order that's right there. We'll get into that more later, but just so you understand, that's all this long tool is. When you look on the right side of TradingView, you'll notice a whole bunch of numbers. It always corresponds to something on the screen, right? So let's see. Here's a yellow support. There's the number. Yellow support. There's the number. Here's a yellow support. There's the number. Here's a yellow support. There's the number. There's a gray doohickey. We'll get back to that. There's a red one that doesn't really line up with anything. A green one that doesn't line up with anything, really. A light green one doesn't line up with anything. Man, a lot of these don't even have a matching anything at all, really, right? Okay, there's an answer to each and every one of those. If I were to go back further on the chart, and I were to identify another one of these long tool things, and I were to move it up just a tiny bit and move it where you can't even see it on the chart, you would still see the numbers that represent each part of it. Because right here, this gray section represents the part in the middle. That's your entry price. The red section all the way on the bottom represents the bottom of this red section where you place your stop loss. Now, since I placed a sideways or horizontal line right here with the text that says initial SL, that's not part of the bottom of this two colored long tool. So since I went the extra mile and put that to help you understand where the stop loss is, that rough number shows up twice. And it's not identical because I didn't place this. I did it by hand. I didn't like put it exactly at the exact bottom of this red section. And then same thing here. An entry I created right where my gray is, which is the center of this area. Now they don't always line up like they do here, yellow line to yellow side, yellow line to yellow side, because right here there's so many scrunched up numbers plus the price, which is the light green or the darker green one at 405. That shows the timer of how much time is left on this 1 hourly candle before it starts a new one. That's right here, so it kind of pushes everything else down. So sometimes you won't see the numbers over here perfectly line up horizontally with everything on screen, but in some instances you do. Let me pull up one where you do, where it doesn't have a lot of stuff. Let's try, obviously a lot of these have a hell of a lot of information on them, but let's look at this one. This nulls trade. Now there's one of these center gray, bottom red, and current prices. There's one of those same setups all the way back because this one big green area is part of one very large one of these, the long tool. But you don't see those numbers over here because this section where the red and the buy is are all the way down off screen. So hopefully everybody understands what they're looking at. So any of these trades that we get into, if we get into, let's say Link, for instance, right? This one of the more recent Link trades that we've been in. So if I showed you a chart with nothing but this, you don't really need to know what all the supports and resistance levels are. SR means support and resistance, because this support right here, once the price goes below it, it becomes a resistance. Now it's resisting the price going back up. Once the price is on top of that line, it's a support. And a lot of the time you'll see this bouncing back and forth between these supports and resistances, because those are the areas where you have the biggest walls that are really hard for those lines to break through, right? That's really the only way you have to think about it. So once we got above this final really hard wall, boom, 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 all these lines are hitting that wall and just splat, right? It's like they're doing them going 90 miles an hour. There's brains everywhere. There aren't even any zombies because the brains have been totally... Oh, I'm sorry. I like zombie movies. We get up above that support, and now all of a sudden it's a huge... This resistance, sorry. Now it's a big support for this green candle, which isn't going below it, right? So that resistance became a support. It's good to know what they are, and it's going to come in really handy later. But for the most... noobs of the noobs, doesn't really matter. You see the long tool here? Say I show you this chart and the price is still right here. Great, it's right at my entry price on my sample chart. The stop loss is down here. Now in this example, this candle dipped down, this green one dipped down and stopped out some of the people who got into the trade with me. I got lucky in this case because I just hadn't placed my stop loss order yet at 15635. Right where the bottom is, this, oh sorry, 1.5636. That's where the bottom line is of this red section. I just didn't set my order because I was busy doing other things. And right after I entered this trade, this candle quickly dipped down and then it came back up. So by the time I placed my stop limit order, it was already gone. So luckily I was safe and I was still in this trade for this entire time. At one point I got stopped out, but I still had a portion of my bag, which I got into in my earlier video. So I'm still in this trade with a pretty substantial sum of cash, and I think we're about to make another move up off of this bullish flag. I'm pretty sure. I really do like this bullish flag here, as if we did my 3, right? And then a shallow forward retracement, given how bullish we are, and I think we're going to make that push up to that 5 at around 225. I'm not positive. It's not financial advice, all that bullshit, but I'm pretty sure. I really do like it. Anyway, so yeah, if you saw this chart and you joined the group right now, and this is all you saw, you looked at the chart and you saw this. This multicolored section, you got candles all around here. Just so you understand what I'm doing, this is the price that I entered. Now, if you wanted to get started trading quickly, you really can't. Not at all, unless you have certain basics. The stuff I just showed you, and then stop losses. So a stop loss order, also known as a stop limit sell order, we'll get into the more advanced sides of that later, but when you see stop limit or stop order, or stop loss, those are all terms that essentially mean the same thing. And what it means is you're going to hit a stop price. Everything stops. So say you have your stop limit right at the entry price, right here, which was 61.30, whatever. Call it 1.6100. So $1.61. That was your entry price. You're going along, this big red candle hits that price. It doesn't matter what goes on below that, how far it goes necessarily. It will in a second. The second you hit that price that was set as your stop loss price, everything stops. That's your stop price. Now, as soon as your stop price gets hit, a few more steps go underway. The exchange has this programming built into it that says, all right, that stop price was hit. Now, before we even let anything else happen, we have a limit order to set. So just so you guys understand how it works, let me show you really quick on Binance. Let's pull something, FTM, BTC. I don't even think, do I have any BTC in this account? No, I'm on all different alts. Okay, anyway. So I was going to say, I don't want to accidentally buy something as an example. This account has 0 BTC. So, looking at this chart, if I was going to buy right here at 290, or better yet, let's just say I'm already holding, but I want to set a stop limit order. My stop limit order is going to go at 280 right there. So we're going to go to stop limit. I'm going to say my stop price is going to be right here, is going to be 280. Now, when the price gets down to 280, everything stops. The next thing that happens is the computer program goes through a process of it sets a limit order, which is normally what you do right here. So right here, your limit order, you're saying that I want to buy FTM right here. I'm going to pay 289, right? That's the top price. So I'm going to buy 289. I want to buy 50,000 of them or 500,000 of them, whatever. And then I place my order, buy. Now what's going to happen is right here at 289, this number, because I'm buying 500,000, is going to go up to 523,303. This spot on the order book now has your order as part of it. Some guy's trying to buy 23,000, you're trying to buy 500,000, right? So what happens is if your buy order was at 589, for instance, and the price goes all the way down to, 289, if the price goes down to 289, that's when your buy order is going to fill, because you're only willing to spend 289. It's at 290 now. So when the price gets down and your limit order matches the current price, your order will fill. When you do a stop limit, the exact same thing's happening. We decided that our stop price was 280. That means that the second the price hits 280, everything stops. The computer goes into action. It sets an order to sell at 275, all of your tokens at 287, right? So go back to stop limit. You set it at this stop price. I want it to sell whatever I have at this price. So we're going to make this 250. So the second the price hits 280, this price of 250 is going to be entered as a limit price. 250, here we go. So it's almost as like everything stops. The computer goes over, clicks limit, sets 250 as the price. They're going to sell all your coins and sell. It's like that order was placed. So as soon as that order gets placed, this is going to start selling at every price it can until it gets to your limit price. So hopefully that helps everybody to understand. If the price is dropping and your stop price of 280 gets hit and the price is still going, the stop price is pretty much when you start selling on the way down. And your limit price is the lowest limit you're willing to pay, which is 275. So if the price is dropping really fast, your whole order would fill before it gets to 275. But if this is one of those coins that gets dumped really, really fast and there aren't a lot of orders on the order books here, what happens is one big order, like in this example, this guy's buying one, this guy's buying 80,000. What if I place an order for 750,000? It kind of throws the order book out of whack, right? If I did that, it would buy all of the first three orders here. So imagine that happened the other way, where it just dumps too fast, it hits 280, and before the computer system could even put in your order to sell at 275, now it's down at 265. That's why setting stop limit orders is kind of an art you have to understand based on the volume, what the order books look like. Those are very advanced topics we can get into at a later date. But for right now, I'll tell you, if you go over here and you look at all the coins available, BTC, if you click by volume, and you organize this list by volume, anything that's doing over, several hundred BTC in volume, you're not going to have a problem getting your orders filled right away. But when you go down here where there's only 35 or 40 Bitcoin in volume for the whole day, placing an order just like I showed you might be tough, because by the time the price hits 280, sometimes the order books don't even have a 280, 279, 277, 276. Some of these order books, because there's not a lot of liquidity, will jump in price and then your orders don't get filled right away. I don't want to get into anything more complex than that. I feel like that was probably more advanced than I even wanted to do, to be honest. So let's just get back to the basics. When I say set a stop loss order, you have to look at this chart. So on this example for Link, I bought in right here. This is my entry price. My stop loss was 3% below my entry price. If you ever get into any trade and you buy in at $1, and then you say, it looks like it keeps bouncing at 88 cents. So I'm going to put a stop loss down at 85 cents. So that way, if it does break 88 cents, I'm protected. I'm going to get stopped out right away, right? That would be a stupid, stupid decision. Because think about what you're doing. You're buying at $1 and you're placing your stop loss 12% below that. Actually, 15% at 85 cents. That's insane, right? The whole point of this is mitigating your risk. You always want to control how much risk, how much of your capital you're putting out there that you could potentially lose. So then they give you a hypothetical situation. Let's say you buy right in around the buy price here. That's fine. It goes up, gets rejected off of here, comes down, gets rejected off of there, comes down. Your stop loss is still all the way down here. You're still in this trade. You're trusting your instincts. You get up and test this resistance again, and then boom, it breaks through. That's exciting. We had this really strong yellow resistance line finally breaks through. Now my confidence is super high. I'm going to move my stop loss up so it's below that strong support. That's everything that you want to do. Now something you wouldn't want to do, say you see that this trade that I shared on the group in short-term plays, you're watching it, and by the time you see it, you're up around here. The price is up at 170. That's just 170 is now the current price. Don't think for a second you could buy at 170. Let me show you what that would look like. Imagine if you bought at 170 up here, but looking at my chart, you place your stop loss right where my stop loss was on my idea. Now you're risking 8%, over 8% on your trade. You're going to lose a shit ton of money if you guys risk 8% on any trade, at least not until you're a very, very advanced trader getting into longer term plays, where sometimes that's actually a necessity. Hopefully everybody can see this. 8.13% is how much you would be risking in that situation. So a lot of the time you hear people say, did I miss this trade? Am I too late for this trade? Good example. Say the price is about up here and you're asking me if it's too late for the trade. See what our options are. We're sitting right on a pretty good support right there. Could you make a trade? Buy right where we are right here. Go set your risk at about 3%, 2.5%. You could try our hand at that, and if you did, look what would have happened. The price would have come down, up, and then down a little bit. You almost would have got stopped out, and then it would have made another move up, back down again. You would have started getting really excited until you eventually get stopped out. That happens sometimes. But you might have learned an important lesson. What lesson could you have learned there? Look at the size of that resistance. That thing is a champion. If I saw this here and here, my next plan of attack would be to buy as soon as we get close to that level. Because right here, if you were to buy just below that level, you barely need a stop loss at all. Because you know something. You know that if that level gets broken, you're in for a nice ride making a shit ton of money. So say these candles all seem to bounce back to right there. All right, give yourself another like 2.5% lower than that and see what it plays, how it plays out. Either it's going to get rejected and you're going to get stopped out like this time and this time. Sometimes the third time's a charm. Actually, in these scenarios, a lot of the time, on that third attempt, it does break through. So here we actually broke through, and now you're in that one hell of a profit zone. Now you can move your stop loss up to above your entry price, right around the support, maybe to like right there. Now you're starting to lock in a little bit of profit. So it's important that you understand what all those things are on the chart. Mostly the long tool. You want to understand how to manage risk. You certainly want to understand conceptually what I'm doing, because you don't want to buy in at some other price and think that my red line right here is somehow going to help you, because it will not. If you buy any higher than this entry price, your risk to my red line stop loss there is going to be up more and more above 3%. My suggestion, especially if you're starting out early, never take a trade with more than 3% risk. If you have to go 5 days of watching these charts and watching my trade ideas to see something that has a 2.5% risk, I don't care. Wait 5 days. Don't start jumping into shit because you want to get aggressive. Okay, good. Yeah, I think that's a good fundamental breakdown. Let me think what else. All right, so I just signed up for the group. I see short-term trades. Jesse has these trades, and this is how they work. I'm just going to put money in. I'm pretty sure I covered enough to break that stuff down. Let's take a couple quick questions. Anybody out there who's newer? And let's pull up Discord. Anybody out there who's newer to the group, and when you were in that exact scenario, try to think back to when you first joined. What questions were there that you wish you had asked that you hadn't? Let's do that. I'll give you a chance. You could use the YouTube chat, or you could use the private dark side chat in Discord. Whichever you prefer. I do not give a fuck. Anybody? Come on. I know some of you guys had weird ass questions that like you thought weren't good and you know felt bad about asking or something. Just try to think back to that, and whatever it is, we'll cover it now, and that way we'll be able to help some people who are newer to this that might not have that skill set built up as well as you guys have over time. So I am in private dark side chat in Discord, or you can use the chat in YouTube. Fuck it, just use the chat in YouTube. I'll leave that one up. And while somebody is trying to build up the fortitude to actually ask a question, you pussies, I will deal with one other scenario I got to deal with. Hold on. Bear with me a sec. Hopefully somebody's typing a question in the YouTube chat. So I really would like to get some of your guys' input. Rose B. Okay, looks like I got everybody in there. That's good. All right. Somebody asked me something in crypto chat. What was that? Nice ZRX call. Yes, I know it's a nice call, motherfucker. Why do you think I make these call, huh? Do you think I'm amateur? Yes, nice call on ZRX. Of course I know this. I am god of crypto. I guess we'll do a quick review of my trades. All right, nobody asked any questions in Discord, so let me pull up YouTube and see if anybody had any questions there. Christopher Rowland, can you show ZRX as it's going up? No. What to do if you missed it earlier? You fucking asshole. No, I'm not going to do it out of spite now. I'm just kidding. I'll do it. All right, fine. Nobody has any questions. I was hoping somebody would come up with good, like, newbie questions for stuff I didn't cover. I think I pretty much kicked ass with the stuff I covered, if I don't say so myself. But, how you walk while swinging that huge godlike crypto. I know, it's crazy, right? Especially since I'm Jewish. I'm not used to having a big crypto dick. All right, we'll just move on. What is time frame on the candles for hour? Okay. What is time frame on the candles for hour? What do you mean by that? So, all right, so just so this doesn't really go with the noob stuff because I don't really feel like this is important for noobs really because they're just kind of looking at this chart making sense of what's on it. These are the different supports and resistances. As you guys learn more, we'll start going over the more complex concepts, but I did cover this in the last one, but each one of these candles represents 1 hour. If I move this to 4 hour, then every one of the candles on the screen represents 4 hours of time. Over that 4 hour period, the high was X, the low was Y. It started trading at Z and it finished trading at F. You know, I use the hourly candles because they fit my model the best. If you can see right here, my call on ZRX was based on it hitting the 99 EMA and then bouncing. I would have made the exact same call if it had bounced right here off the 55. It broke down a little further and stayed down low, so I never made that call. I waited till it bounced off the 99 to make the call, and you can see why. But the amount of time, whether it was a 4 hour candle, doesn't really matter. Something for noobs is that once a video is watched, learning how to use Fibonacci, can you... So I don't want to get into that in this video. I will, but for noobs, don't pay attention to this. I've talked about Fibonacci 100 times. You know what I'm going to do, actually? Let's do this. I'm going to show you guys Discord for newer people. We're going to be incredibly redundant unless we do it this way. So, now, over here, Vader chalkboard. Used to be Vader University was this entire channel. Every stream ever, everything I ever posted that was educational was in this channel. But we don't have to worry about that now because what I did is I took, if you go down here, this is all going to get cleaned up more. If you go to video links, I'm sorry this is such a mess right now, but it's good that we're here together. So if you go to video links, this is every live stream I've done. I always post the link in video links. But if you scroll up a little bit further, past all those to right over here where we have some single links like this, scroll up above that and you'll see things that are dated with multiples in one. So like this is on orders, this is on paper trading. This one single post right here has one stream from 1010, one stream from 1011. Once you get up into this area, you're talking about the bee's knees of educational streams, like right here. Look at these ones. Live stream 1, live stream part 2. Some of them don't have detailed descriptions. Right here, 819, discuss Fibonacci, how I use it, how we can use bot and algo trading to predict price action, going over existing plays and overall market analysis, review BTC TA specifically, blah, blah, blah. Brief review of Ichima 5599 EMAs and how I use dynamic support and resistance. Elliott wave theory with some Fibonacci. We review some plays. Fibonacci and Elliott wave strategy combined into a single video, along with some Ichima 55 and 99 action. Then that night I did similar content. A couple days later, right here, this wasn't actually a live stream, but it turned into a really good educational stream because we went over a lot of the basic intro concepts, how to read charts, planning your trades, making a plan, and how to stick to it. Those rules that I always preach. Stick to the plan, don't trade on emotion, and maintain capital. So anyway, this is all up here. You keep scrolling up video links towards the top several posts, and you're going to get the best educational live streams I ever did, and I've been doing this for over a year. Hopefully that clarifies what you were asking about. So what I would suggest doing if you want to learn about Fibonacci, go to some of those videos titled Fibonacci, learn the shit out of it, then come back to me and say, hey, this thing I didn't really get. I wasn't really sure about this aspect or that terminology. Can you break that down for me? Then we could do a fresh live stream with you and anybody else who has questions about it, where we can get to the next level of your questions. I really want to avoid going over the same shit over and over again. Best case scenario, you guys can look at that older content. There's a ton of educational information there. You learn a nice solid base. Then you come to me, you tell me what you're not really sure on, and we can bust out a fresh live stream to cover your specific questions. Not what other people suggested we talk about, but you, the people who actually have questions on what to learn next. Just come to me, we'll make it happen. All right, anything else? Any other questions here? If not, we'll just jump through a couple quick alt charts, and then I'll call it a night, because like I said, I still feel pretty shitty. I'm just geeked up on caffeine. And I'm really, really into this. I love doing this shit, as you can tell. I'm giddy. I'm like a fucking kid in a candy store. I legitimately love doing what we're doing right now. Not trading, necessarily. Teaching you guys everything I learned. Because when I was coming up and figuring this shit out, I was losing thousands and thousands of dollars a day. And I was trying to figure out how to not blow my fucking brains out. And then I had the idea of learning. And I kicked my ass learning, but I did a really good job of it. Then I figured if I could teach other people how to learn like this without getting to the point of debating blowing their brains out, that's a win-win. So that's why I like doing it. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions, so let's just hop on to a couple quick charts. I think I'm going to make this stream public. We didn't go over any advanced concepts that we do in Vader University with the group to really help people progress as traders. This is more of like the most basic intro level shit. I think this would be a good idea to release publicly because it'll help people more than try to get people to sign up. In this instance, it probably would just be good to give people some basic information they haven't really thought of. So let's do that. Fuck it. We'll go live. I'll go public. All right, let's look at a couple quick trades. So I got ZRX, which I just got into, literally on this candle, and since then we are up a max of like 2% and change. I expect this to progress well. I think we're going to see a solid bounce off the 99 EMA. When I asked online, I said, can anybody tell me what my Ichima entry and setup would be right here? Not a single person guessed close. I guess some people guessed close because they guessed the current price at that point. But nobody really understood what I was talking about. And even some of my friends who were really good traders DM'd me. Chart Vamps actually posted in the group because he stops by in the group sometimes. Yeah, nobody really thinks to enter there, and we do because we have my Ichima model, and you can see. I mean, it's kind of crazy when you go back and look at like the last pump. Like, let's look at some of these and be like, all right, so on the way up here, oh, see, this doesn't work because it was so far above and below the EMAs. There were some really good recent ones, though. Here, let's look at this one, right? So back at this pump, if we started moving up nicely and it looked really bullish, imagine if you said, all right, I'm going to buy every time it bounces off an EMA. You would have bought right there. You would have bought right there. You would have bought right there, and then that would have gone down, but you would have bought again at the 222. And then if you bought at the 222 right here, that specific entry that you got into would have gone up 15.25%. Not a bad finale for that little run. Not to mention this bounce right here, I probably would have entered because it got really close to the support, even though it didn't quite hit the EMA. Then when you start trending down and you see the RSI collapsing, you're not worried about buying in on the EMAs. If anything, you'd be selling at those points. But anyway, you get the point. It's a really strong model. It's not something I would suggest people follow blindly. Don't go and just buy every time it hits a specific EMA. That would be moronic. You have to know how to put all these things into practice. You need to know how to look at that, but also, hey, you shut up, pups. Come on. Thank you. Come here, girl. It's okay. It's all right. I'm not mad. I just you interrupted my stream. Okay. It's just me down here. No one else is trying to break it. Hey, go protect the babies. Go protect the babies. Good girl. Such good dogs. So yeah, I'm liking it, but also you can see we first bounced up and caught resistance right here at the 3,500 resistance. Right here, that resistance is getting broken a ton. Most people wouldn't even have that on a chart as a valid resistance, but if you watch the video from earlier today, you would know that that is still a valid resistance, because if I go back in time a year, it was a valid resistance then, it's a valid resistance now. That's why so many people missed the support on BTC that we had. So that's how ZRX is looking. Now Link, there's several things here on Link that tell me I think it's going to make a solid move up. Just every time I get into the similar position, I get confident and I get a feeling in my gut of my stomach. My gut starts tingling, and then we end up moving up pretty nicely. So I don't have that compelling of a model to tell you that it's definitely going to go up, but I just got a freaking feeling. That's why I made this other chart when I said Link go boom. Let's see. If it comes back down and it gets back down around like 186, 185, I'll say, all right, it's going down. But if it goes up from here, I'm going to be dancing like crazy. Knowles is making a nice push here. Then it got rejected. I have a feeling it's going to do the same thing. It's going to come down a little bit. It's probably going to get back down around my older entry right here. It might bounce off the 55 EMA. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to set a buy order right here on the 55. How has she performed 55-wise lately? Now, I always tell you guys every chart's different. So some charts, some coins, ABC coin, every time bounces off the 55. FTZ coin, sometimes it doesn't even touch one of these EMAs. But look, right here. Ton of support from the 55. We then broke through the 55, support from the 222. This time, we first broke through the 55, then we rode right around there. Same thing with the 99. Never get below the 222, though. So that's certainly a valid and interesting variable to consider. Then we break down. We finally get support right here. This was really cool. If you guys go back and look at the work that we did on Knowles from 3 or 4 weeks ago, I had this specific line at 86.75, and I remember in the live stream, I said, I'm going to call this a super support, because one day this is going to be an absolutely crucial support. If I could, hopefully you guys just trust me at this point. You know I don't lie, I don't make shit up. My work is pretty damn good. I don't have to make it up to gloat. I'm telling you. I'm going to try to find it, but on a past live stream, in the stream, I said, this support right here is so key. It's going to be a major support in the future. Just, I can't drive it home enough. Support and resistance, support and resistance, support. That's what you guys need to focus on before anything else, and I'm here to help you do it. But yeah, we're making a nice move up. Again, I feel like that was a solid correction, so we are moving up into that next move. So there's two possibilities. I've talked about the two scenarios on Knowles. We have been extremely bullish on Knowles. The RSI got pretty low. I think this could actually be another wave up. The other possibility is this is an ABC. Either way, if you watched my stream yesterday, we're going to make money on this trade, because if we run all the way up to this anywhere from this 236 at 110 to this 118, this prior top at like 116, anywhere in that range, if we keep going up that high, we're going to make a solid profit once we move our stop loss up to 107. That way, when it does come back down on that C wave, we'll make a solid profit. And if it doesn't come down on that C wave and keeps running up, who gives a shit? We're going to make even more money. I have a nice trade open on Adam still, right? Yeah, Adam's way up. Look at that. Boom. Puts us up. A max of 18, back down to 12. ID stop loss is going to lock in 10% at 636. What was it, 663? Yeah, 663. Right. It's a new stop loss. I gotta go pump that in over at Binance, but so we're getting pretty close. If we get down that low, I'd rather just get booted out of it. Oh shit! You know what? I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. All right. Normally that's what I would do, but I'm gonna actually make this an extremely sorry. Excuse me. This is gonna be a very conservative setup where I'm only going to lock in 7%. Now, the reason why I talked about it in last night's live stream, and you're going to have to watch the last live stream if you want to find out. If you want to bitch at me because you want to know exactly what my logic is right now, I'm not going to tell you unless you go watch last night's live stream. Got to put in the work, guys, to make this shit make sense. Was it from earlier today or last night? Whatever. The last live stream, fuck, where I was talking about different entries and stuff. Let me place this in short term so people can see. All right. Any other questions, boys or girls? Can you go over market psychology? It's a higher low play. Be like, oh. That'd buy like hell at the EMA. Yeah. So market psychology, I don't really want to do too much about market psychology right now. Let's talk about a couple things. When I talk about market psychology, I'm generally talking about it in a specific context. You're talking about Scroll XD, the new rebranding for Scroll. I'm very, very bullish long term, but I don't want to talk about that now either. We can discuss that tomorrow, maybe tomorrow's live stream. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to get into individual projects like doing long-term analysis. It's just too time-consuming, and it kind of takes us off topic. People are going to watch the video for the basics, I promise, and come back to me complaining that they had to sit through a 30-minute diatribe about how I like Scroll. So let's talk about market psych, and then we'll close it out. I don't want to go too much into market psych, but I will say my FATAPAMP model, FATAPAMP. That's my data set model. FA, fundamentals, TA, technicals, MP, FATA, Jesus Christ, AMP. Yep, okay. FATAPAMP. P stands for people. So it goes, fundamental analysis, technical analysis, people, and market psychology. There we go. That's the order. The order doesn't necessarily matter, but the people stands for individual people. I've talked about that in prior videos, like Craig Wright or Roger Ver. You kind of focus on their individual personalities, their shortcomings, their successes, and you're able to build that into a model in some sense. And I've talked about that in other videos. Don't have to get in too deeply now. When I talk about market psychology in that context, I'm not talking about our own behavior, but I'm talking about behavior of the market or the people that compose the market. If you look up data from Google and you look at how many people are searching for how do I buy Bitcoin and you see a huge spike in that number, that plus the behavior we see on crypto Twitter is going to develop a model for us to additionally predict what's going to happen in the future using market psychology data. If everybody we know is coming to us asking if it's time to buy back into Bitcoin, that's probably a strong market psychology indicator that there has been a turnaround in overall sentiment. Now, as for our own personal market psychology, there were some people in the chats asking me about that. The best I can tell you about that is don't trade on emotion. If you're getting into a trade and you're feeling FOMO, like, shit, I kind of want to buy this trade. I don't think it's actually that good, but I really don't want to miss out. You have to train yourself. There's nothing I can do to teach you that. I'm sorry. I wish there was. Just train yourself. Put the hands down, get them away from the keyboard, miss the trade. I'll tell you there's only two things that can happen. The trade goes up and you say, shit, I missed out. Or the trade goes down and you say, holy shit, man, am I happy I didn't get into that trade. Either way, is it that bad considering the amount of opportunities we find on a regular basis? In the last couple of weeks, I've been getting into 20, 30, 40% trades like 3 or 4 times a week. So if I miss out on one that goes up 50%, you think I'm losing sleep over it? Hell no. Once you start to change your mindset, you'll be able to open your eyes to a whole different level of opportunity that you couldn't previously see because you were blinded by emotion. If you ever feel that you're getting too emotional, if you ever feel like you're staying in trades longer than you should, or if you're getting into trades you shouldn't get into, consider me a sponsor on Gamblers Anonymous as far as I'm concerned. I've been there before. Just come and talk to me. I don't want to make light of Gamblers Anonymous. Obviously, it's a real issue, but if you guys are in a position where you feel like you're a strong trader, but your emotion is kind of leeching its way into your trading style, shoot me a DM. Talk to me about it. We can hop on the phone first thing tomorrow and have a 10-minute chat. See if we can get rid of some of those ideas that are poisoning your process. All right? All right, let's call it a night on that note. This was a really good stream. I feel like we covered some amazing shit. Once I release this stream publicly, I'm pretty sure that waiting list is going to get longer, because when we cover content like this, and I feel like you guys are really picking up on it. You guys used to have so many questions, and now even long-term members are just kind of sitting there twiddling their thumbs when I'm begging them to ask questions. Yeah, you know who you are. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, and we'll probably do another one tomorrow. If you need me, I'll be available in the Discord chats for the remainder of the night. I'll probably be up for an hour or two, but besides that, I'm going to sleep so I can heal up and get better and make more money with you guys. Later.